Gentleman's time's expired. Chair recognizes the chairman of the Subcommittee on Government Operations, Mr. Sessions, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, and thank you to each of you. I sat in for about 40 minutes earlier today, and it was lively then, and probably exactly what you came to expect. Perhaps it's turned a little bit later this afternoon. Thank you for your time. We count on you. We count on your reports. We count on your information. When I was here a little bit earlier, there was a brief discussion about the administration's view about how they became prepared or lack of preparedness based upon some bit of intel that they, and I don't mean an intelligence report, I'm talking about their viewpoint, that the Afghan Air Force would be able to take care of the problem when we pulled out. We know that's the crux of part of how they defended themselves. Is that a fact?
Well, as both Mr. Sopko and I have testified, there are significant concerns about relying upon the Afghan Air Force, both in terms of it being overtaxed, in terms of its dependence on U.S. contractor support for maintenance. And some of our work, I think we found anywhere from 80% and up of the maintenance was done by U.S. contractors. So once those were pulled out, hard to figure out how those planes were going to stay up in the air. And as has previously been testified, there were pretty clear predictions that wasn't going to last for long.
Yes, sir. I'm not very bright today. My point is, isn't that true that became some symbolism by the State Department, the Defense Department? They were relying upon that bit of information about how they decided their withdrawal would work. In other words, that the Afghans, someone had told them, hey, we got the Air Force, we'll be stable, we can sustain ourselves. Is that the true statement, or is there more to that?
Well, Mr. Sopko may have more, but I'll say in the lead IG reporting, we do report that there was a belief that the Afghan Air Force and the military would last longer, and therefore that would facilitate a more orderly evacuation.
Right. Okay, thank you. That is what I was wanting to hear back. So now I've got 2 minutes and 19 seconds, give or take. Our chairman's very benevolent and our ranking member's very benevolent. And maybe this is not the bow to wrap it up, although you're getting close to the end, or you can go have lunch by about 4:30 or 5 today. My point is, we lots of times have found ourselves fighting, whether it be getting out of Vietnam, getting out of anything else. We fought about getting out of here. Has someone taken time to have a document that really depicts a what-if chart and how we need to be prepared for things? Because I'll be quite blunt, I was shocked, stunned, disappointed. I had heard that the NSA, DOD, three-letter organizations, maybe others, CIA, had said to the White House or to the NSA maybe or the White House, here is this is now January of 21. President comes in, here's the document, here's what we think to be prepared for. And they waited until well past August to even give direction to those agencies. Is there truth to that? Did you look at that to say what kind of preparation was necessary? Because we heard that. I was a part of everybody leaving, trying to get people here who had been supportive of us. What was that? Modeling to the White House to say, look, you started when President Biden, 100 days before the election, they embedded people into the administration. You know that, I do too, to be prepared for when whoever the winner was would take over. Did the agencies that I suggested, did they provide the White House an analysis, and when was that analysis responded to?
That's not something that my office has looked at, to my knowledge.
Anybody?
Those are very good questions, sir, and hopefully your committee will look into that. We have not looked at that.
Who would be best for us to write to and say, can you please go give us this analysis? Because I've looked at a number of these briefings, and I have yet to see, oh, DOD provided this, CIA provided this, the vulnerabilities about how we might be approaching this. And then, once again, unfair, we heard the White House waited months and months and months and months to give them direction back. And that was the biggest frailty. The planning that was done ahead of time was not responded to.
If I can help you answer that question, I think, first of all, you have to look to the people who are on the ground. So it's General Miller and his team, very competent generals who were giving advice back to Washington as to what the situation was on the ground. Also, we have intelligence entities that were on the ground giving advice. So I would start there as to what those people, the embassy to some extent, was giving advice on what they saw and what they thought. I would start there and then see what happened back in Washington with that information.
I'm suggesting, I know I'm taking time here, I'm suggesting, I believe on or about February 10th or 15th, documents of preparation were given to the White House. And those documents were never responded to until literally weeks before the decision was made. I want to thank each of you. I'm going to write you a letter. We're going to ask for this. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the extra time.
Thank you.